he is the guy that's going to scare people.
Do you think people realise how rapid he is?
I don't think they do. I love Bennell. Isn't in my team.
Yeah, don't want him. You don't? No, absolutely not. It's just the weighing rooms still aren't moving that well.
He's still the best player on the pitch, and I like to have a bit of an Italian.
Do you know what? This is why I got the Welsh lads in.
Welcome to Hits Different, and this is an Ultimate 15 Six Nations special, Aki. Are you excited?
I am, yeah, I am. There's a bit of thought gone into it, isn't there?
We really have. We've worked hard. We've done our homework. Now, there are some unbelievably talented players lining up for the 6 teams. This tournament, which is kicking off next week. We've individually put our Ultimate 15s. We've picked players from each of the 6 teams, which is different. We've never done this before, have we?
No, we're going to see a clash of styles here. We're going to argue through some differences of opinion. We'll see who comes out on top at the end of Six Nations.
And at the end, we want you to comment below. We're going to put our teams up, 1 to 15. You've got to say which is the best team, Aki's or mine. The parameters are simple. Pick who we think is the best in each position from the 6 squads to create the Ultimate 15.
And a couple of talking points, because there's probably a couple of fellas who would make everybody's team, isn't there? So
yeah.
There's no point in all picking the same, is there?
No. Let's
dive into it.
Let's go a bit different. Right, let's start with our props, mate. Loosehead prop, number 1. Who is your player?
I have got Ellis Genge,
nice.
Which is probably, a lot of these show the way you want to play rugby yourself, don't you? So I'm sure there's probably better scrummagers out there as loosehead props, and I'm sure there's probably, people who are better over ball or something like that. But for me, what he brings to a team, we've discussed him before, as a ball carrier, as a leader, and as a person in the team, he would be in there for me.
You were in the Ellis Genge fan club, aren't you? Because he was your pick for the Lions as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, I am. Mostly, I don't know a lot of props either, so this my knowledge is limited when it comes to it.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's about to tell me that a Frenchie should be in there, or the Irish lad should be in there.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me the Irish lad?
No, I haven't gone for the Irish lad. I've actually gone for a French
just to make sure my knowledge is there.
Porter,
right, okay.
Yeah. Genji, brilliant player. I've gone for Cyril Bai, who is an unbelievable rugby player. I just love him. He's almost just like goes about his work so quietly, but he's small and squat, but unbelievable scrummager and unbelievable around the park. Plays for Toulouse.
Built for it. Yeah.
And he is my number 1, alongside my number 2, because I've gone for all Toulouse, all French, in Malvaca as my hooker, because I love the way he plays. Like, he plays like a back, but he's as big as a forward. He's got the skills and the speed of a back. And again, plays in that Toulouse team, which there's a bit of a theme there for me in this squad, because they are the best team in Europe.
They are.
They're filtering through my team.
Yeah, that's it's a very simple suggestion. I consulted Jack Singleton as to the hooker situation. Saw him yesterday and asked him about hookers, and he straight away said, absolutely not. Right. He's absolutely not. But he said that Malvaca is, and that was where I was at the start. And then he came to me and said Sheehan would potentially be better darts. Yeah. He said it's hard to go against. Brilliant round the park, Sheehan, but potentially, that's not him criticising any hookers, but Sheehan is a fantastic thrower. Yeah. And I've not got brilliant liner options, I don't think, in my jumpers. So I've gone with Sheehan in order to make sure we get line-up ball.
Darts.
Yeah.
I mean, Sheehan's brilliant. Is he fit the Six Nations? Who knows?
Who
he's coming back from a big injury, I think.
Yeah, I essentially put people in hoping.
No, I like to start. I mean, we hope at this point these lot are all going to be playing in the Six Nations. If for whatever reason they're not, then we might substitute in the comments. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, tighthead prop. Some might say the most important position.
Yeah, and controversially, I think as a bloke who's been playing for Ireland, who's been fantastic for years now, and that would have been the obvious one, I've gone Big Antonio, because I just think that's an intimidating bloke. You see the size, the sheer size of the bloke. Big Antonio. Who have you got in the 3 shirt?
See, I've gone for Tadhg Furlong, who I'm hoping's fit, because he wasn't fit in the autumns for Ireland, and I think they missed him.
Yep.
So Tadhg Furlong for me just does everything that you want of a tighthead prop, but he's got all the magic bits as well. He's such a skillful, silky player as well.
I think we established he was probably one of the first names in the team sheet for the Lions, didn't
I think
we?
so. I think it's a big 2025 for that man.
Yeah.
Weenie Antonio, we went to play La Rochelle once. The night before the game, we were like, we'd go out for some dinner, just to have a bit of dinner, get out, see the port. Went down to the port. We basically went into it. It must have been Weenie's restaurant, or he pretty much ran the place, because as soon as we walked in, he was like, no, table over here, and he pulled us this table, and he was pouring wine down our necks, like night before the game. And I was like, Weenie, I'm not going to argue with you.
The king of La Rochelle.
You're the king of La Rochelle, I will drink your wine. So I didn't play great the next day.
But good memories though.
Yeah, good memories. Yeah. Okay, that's our front rows. 1, 2, 3, right. In the second row. Aki,
I've got starting at 4, and maybe the cornerstone again of my pack here is one that we're big fans of. I've put him into the second row on the back row is Tag Burn.
Oh wow, yeah, nice.
I've slid him in there. I think he had a massive Six Nations last year. I just like finding him in a pack, and wherever I can get him in, he needs to be in the second row for me, because once again, it's not a position I know loads about. So
you look like a second rower though. I've always thought.
I would have gone.
You look like a second. You're as tall as a second.
I played a couple of games at 8. That was the closest I ever. Yeah, when I was younger, a couple of coaches and teachers tried to shoehorn you in, and they realised it's like soft as
too skillful.
Yes, soft hands and get him out of there. But yeah, Tag Burn. Okay. I love him as a player. And another one that.
Who's his partner in there for you?
Mirfau. Is that how I'm pronouncing it?
Yeah, Mirfau.
I think his performance in the autumn, the way he took the All Blacks apart and just manhandled them, that's guaranteed gain line.
Yeah.
Guaranteed, and this back line that's going to play off the back of him, that's guaranteed gain line.
Yeah, I like his stuff. He is in there for number 5 for me.
Nice.
So he is the brunt, he is the guy that's going to scare people. Yeah. He's going to get you some quick ball. For me, I've gone close to home with a guy that I played with a lot that's still, I think, up there as one of the best in his position in the world, is Maro.
Yeah.
Maro's my number 4. Calls the line outs unbelievably. Great energy. And with some bigger boys there that maybe won't last 80, I know Maro will be there bossing it for the full 80 minutes.
I actually had on a slash, it was Ollie Chesham at one point, because I think coming back, I think he was on this sort of trajectory before getting injured, and I'd like to see him have a big Six Nations, because I think he's that sort of highly rated by Steve. He'll go straight back in, I would thought.
Watch this space for Ollie Chesham this year, I think. Back row, should we go as a 3?
Yeah.
Give me your 3.
So Aki. I'll just lift them off straight away. I've got Ben Earl from the show, obviously.
Big fan of the show.
Ben Earl, Jack Morgan, and Caelan Doris.
Wow.
Now, I wanted some variety in my team. I wanted to get some Welsh in, and I just thought, this is a Six Nations team, and I thought about the impact they're going to have individually for their nations. Jack Morgan, I thought he was fantastic in the autumn. I think he's carried that form on, and I think that he's the one they start to look to at the moment. Yeah. So that would be the only one that people probably look at going, should he be a full Six Nations barrier? They're probably my reasoning for throwing him in at the moment.
Yeah.
The other two are fairly self-explanatory, aren't they?
Yeah, great players.
Killing it.
I love Ben Earl. Massive friend of the show.
Yeah.
Isn't in my team.
Yeah, don't want him. You don't? No, absolutely not.
I just don't want him. I don't want him to get too big-headed.
Well, we've had him on, haven't we? We don't need him anymore.
Yeah.
He's been on.
No, he was great.
Why would we have him?
And you can still catch that episode if you just scroll up a little bit. But I've gone for Doris. So he's our constant in here. I went with a Josh van der Fleer for that access between him, the Irish access in the back row. And I've gone for Aldrit at 8, because I just think the control he gives to that French pack, and every time they need someone to get them going, whether it's a pick and go or a good line or a defensive read, I think Gregory Aldrit is the one. I heard a story about him the weekend, actually, that he could have played for Scotland.
Weird decision from him. Weird decision.
Yeah.
Could have taken a contract at Glasgow and he's decided to stay with. Weird decision.
Stays in La Rochelle.
Naive.
That is my 6, 7, 8.
I like it a lot. Do you know what? I think I'm probably missing a Frenchman out of mine, and that's the reason. I understand people comment.
No, you don't like the French, do you? So.
Commenting about Jack Morgan. Jacques Morgan. We might get him. We'd probably get him a French deal off the back of this.
Yeah.
But I just thought, if I'm going to try and find some variety into the team, the French and the Irish are obviously... This is controversial, the Irish weren't like this. When I was looking at the individuals in the Irish team, as a unit, I think they work incredibly well.
Yeah.
And then individually, I think there's better individuals. I know that sounds awful to say, but I think there's better individuals than the collective's fantastic.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair point, mate.
You go to 9. This is your area of expertise.
Okay, 9. I just think you can't not pick the best player in the world. I've picked Antoine Dupont because I think France missed him last year in the Six Nations. He was off doing his thing in the Sevens, winning a gold medal, being the torchbearer, shining the light on France again. But I just think this guy, for them, sets them alight.
There's not many people who can look at 9s in the depth and the sort of analyse them the way you do. What is it for him? What is it the difference for him then?
I think with Dupont, it's like the consistency of brilliance that he brings. Like, it's not like he has a great game and he dips off. Like, every single week, whatever team he's playing for, Toulouse or France, against world-class players every week, he's still the best player on the pitch, and he manages to dictate the way every single game goes. And it's not like occasionally, world-class players will have a couple of good games and then you won't really see him in a game. He's like front and centre, wants the ball, wants to show people what he can do. Physically, I think he is almost a bit of a superhuman. As a 9, believe it or not, he's a little bit smaller than I am, which is crazy. But he is so powerful, so strong, as quick as any winger, as strong as any forward. And he's fitter. I think he's fitter than everyone.
Do you think people realise how rapid he is?
I don't think they do.
Yeah, I think we saw it a little bit more in the Sevens in particular, didn't we? People started to grasp just how quick he is. But
yeah. And then I think his speed of thought, normally the two don't match, the speed of thought and the physical, but his is the same. So he knows where the next breakdown's going to be 5 seconds before it's there. Or he's the first support player every single time. If you watch his clips, he's always the guy on the inside. That's why he scores so many tries. So for me, he's operating at a different level.
Seems like a good pick. I've not gone for him. So,
awesome.
Yeah, seems like he can play a bit of rugger.
Yeah.
I should watch him sometime.
Yeah, decent player. Who have you gone for then?
I've gone closer to home for me. And again, I understand, he is the obvious pick, best player in the world at the moment. So therefore, I've not picked him, and I've gone Thomas Williams.
Nice.
So this is based not just purely on the Gloucester loyalty. This is actually, again, based on the impact I foresee him having for the team, for Wales. I think you've touched on this. He's probably go down as one of the signings of the season in the Premiership. The impact he's had and sort of shifted everything at Gloucester. I can only see him taking that form into Six Nations and kicking on. There's an abundance of good 9s, isn't there? I think Gibson Park was very, he will be in and around that conversation. He probably, I've put this in Thomas Williams. I think the Lion shirt's probably Gibson Park still at the moment, but for a bit of variety, I thought I'd put Williams in. And again, I've just got this feeling we might disagree about the 10 shirt to play outside them.
Okay.
I don't know why. I've just got this feeling that what I've got down here and what you've got might be different.
Okay. You go first then.
So, obviously, we've got a friend of the show, very, very good friend of yours, Marcus Smith. I've put Finn Russell into the 10 shirt.
Yeah.
The only caveat I would add with Finn being picked ahead of Marcus isn't necessarily them as players. It would be Finn's impact on the Six Nations previously against Marcus's sort of been given the reins to do what he does at Quins for England. I think Finn's got this love affair with the Six Nations. He's been making that backline tick for Scotland for a number of years now, and I'd just love to see Marcus given the reins to do the same as he does at Quins.
Yeah, I think it's a valid point, Aki. Hopefully this Six Nations, we do see England attack more, be a bit more fluid, which is why I've put Marcus as my 10, because I would just... The Dupont Smith 9-10, I think at some point the world needs to see it.
It'd rival the Kerr Smith 9 and 10, wouldn't it? That's the only...
It's probably the only real
it could really
comparison. Yeah, I just think Dupont playing with Marcus Smith would be So much fun to watch with that pack in front of them, giving them that quick ball.
Do you know what I also put in? It's the way that Russell has got the back line moving. It's everything around. Whereas I would still say, I thought in the autumn, I thought Marcus was England's best player.
Yeah.
So that's a really hard one for me to say Finn, because it's just the way England still aren't moving that well.
Yeah.
Whereas Marcus on his own was England's biggest threat.
Yeah. Well, it's the big debate, and it might be the debate come the summer tour.
No point in having the same team
it
down,
would be a bit boring, that
wouldn't
wouldn't
have a feature, would we?
It would be a bit boring. Right, wingers, let's go as a pair, mate.
So I've actually got a couple of big uns.
Big lads.
A couple of big uns. I've got the big Scottish fella, Van der Merwe on one side, and then the other side, Tommy Freeman.
Okay, nice.
So, yes, we haven't seen him fully do it in an England shirt yet, but what we've seen in a Saints shirt the last couple of years, it's probably a hopeful pick. I'm hoping to see Tommy Freeman bring some of that Saints form into the Six Nations, and I think if he does, that sort of, it's unlimited what he could go on to do.
I think it's a really nice pick. And we had Jamie on the show, didn't we, saying he's one of the world-class players that he thinks is going to go to the next level. Tommy Freeman is brilliant. I've gone a mixture of Scottish and French here with my wingers. On the left wing, I've gone BLBRA, and on the other side, I haven't gone Scottish actually. I've gone double French. What am I on about? I've gone Damien Penaud because he scores tries.
It's hard to argue with, isn't it?
He scores tries. He's unbelievably silky. The closest thing I think England have ever had to him is Johnny May. They remind me so much of each other, the way they run. But both of them know where the try line is. With that connection with the Pont, I can just see that working lovely with his wingers.
I think Freeman's got a touch of that about him.
Yeah.
The Penaud. He is a special player, isn't he?
He is.
And I mean, I would have had him in my team, but you'd already picked him. So no, he is. I think he's actually one of my favourite runners, and just so intelligent, such an intelligent.
Yeah, makes it look so easy. So they're the wingers. Centres. This is interesting. This is your area of expertise.
So I've put down. I think what I've switched from what we had is our
Lions 15.
Lions 15, our centre and Lions 15. I've actually switched to Tuipolotu. And I've now played Ollie Lawrence at 13.
Wow.
That's what I still don't know what that partnership is, but I think he's special. He scores tries. He makes things happen for Bath. Let's get him doing it for England.
It's a really nice argument you've put forward there, Aki. I agree with you on the Tuipolotu. I've gone Tuipolotu at 12, and I've gone with an Italian. I've gone with Menoncello, who normally plays 12 for Italy. Six Nations Player of the Year last year. I'm going to stick him at 13.
Nice.
Because I think that Tuipolotu Menoncello combination, and I like to have a bit of an Italian.
Yeah. Do you know what? This is why I put a couple of Welsh lads in. It's good, isn't it? It's good
to I just
get
think
in the comments. Should we have had more Italians?
He'd add to that squad, I feel. Menoncello looks glorious as well. So
that's part of it, isn't it?
I think that is. He's bringing a bit of shirts.
He's bringing a bit of culture to that back line, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is. And then at 15, I've gone with another Toulousian.
I think
that plays for Scotland.
Oh, yeah, the double bluff.
Yeah. See, I think Toulouse has the best Scottish fullback, Italian fullback.
That's a worry, isn't it?
French fullback.
How do they fit all in the salary cap?
No idea. But I've gone for Blair Kinghorn.
Nice.
Because I think he is a rock at the back, but also incredibly skillful. Can slot in at 10, can slot in at first receiver, is a great second pair of hands. Scores tries, big lad, in a big team. Blair Kinghorn's my 15.
And I've got the other bloke who plays for Toulouse. I've got Ramos.
Yeah.
My only concern is that he's going to play 10 because he's that good.
Okay.
And so I've got him as my 15. If he suddenly starts to play 10 for France, I'm willing to accept Blair Kinghorn into the team together. But we've discussed him. We heard him be talked about a few weeks ago and how special of a talent he is, and I think he can do it all. The round the back pass at the weekend that we saw, just putting people into space and making people look good. And I think I've got a back line of, there's a few runners in there, Van der Merwe, Freeman. You know, if he was the one in between them pulling the strings, I think it works.
I'll be honest, mate. I'm looking at both of these teams here, and I really like both of them. please comment who you think would win in a one-off game. It's hypothetical. It's never going to happen. But please let us know, unless this World League comes in.
How much a few of these
And
worth?
you never know, yeah.
There we go. Bet there's a few contracts been offered already to a couple of these boys.
And they're going to need coaching.
Yeah, they are.
Aren't they?
Thought about that, have they?
No. But that was our Six Nations Ultimate 15.